Centuries ago, a war was fought, and Rigoria was destroyed. But in a last-ditch effort, there was one elf who buried a little bit of magic.
Guarantee anyone will find it.
Let's hope someone does.
And now, one young man
Pops, what is this?
will have to end a war started long before his time.
Can't run!
Can't! His spell has taken hold. This is the last possible chance this world may have.
Echoes of Rigoria, now available wherever you listen to your podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Hey y'all, it's time for Rolling Dice and Taking Names. In this episode, the guys review Ofrenda, Celestia, Dungeons & Dragons Horrified, and Ace of Spades. This one is short, sweet, and
Sexy!
that is not what I was going to say.
Hello and welcome to Rolling Dice and Taking Names. This is episode number 356, When the Party's Over. I'm Tony.
That's riveting intro right there from Tony, and this is Marty.
Well, the party's over, dude. It's over.
You a big Billie Eilish fan or something?
No, every song I wanted to use, we've used before.
Yeah, we did sit here for a while, y'all, as he would try to come up with song titles, and thanks to our good friend Jerry, who's keeping it, I guess he's still keeping the document updated?
No, I do the updatings now.
Oh, okay. We can go back and search previous song titles, and after over 300 of them, I guess you're going to start reusing them after a while.
Yeah, and maybe we should just recycle, back to one. Isn't that what the comic books do?
They do. They relaunch, and, it's like, okay, here comes a new series. Start with number one.
Okay. We should relaunch them. We'll work on a new contract. We'll figure it out. We'll relaunch with episode number 1 and get rid of all that other backlog stuff. And we can come out and people will be like, who's this group?
Reinvent ourselves is what you're saying.
No, I wouldn't reinvent.
Oh.
I mean, all we just need to do is put a new one. Why would you reinvent something that just been working for 356 episodes? That's what I'm saying.
Working? Getting along.
I don't want to go into and have to call in the bench like we did last episode. We need to be on point here.
Oh, you mean 2 episodes ago? Yeah.
No, I'm talking about last episode where Vanessa came on to help us out.
This is episode 356. She was in 354.
When I was gone.
Yes. That's not last episode.
She was also in 355 when we were having riveting discussions.
You are correct. Yeah, I thought you were talking about for the whole show.
No. Mm-mm.
Well, she's sitting there watching. Oh my gosh. She's turned into you and Donna. You know what she's in there watching right now?
Blue Bloods.
Elsbeth.
I didn't like that one.
You did not like that one. She just thinks it's the cutest thing ever, and she's in there watching it and has been for a couple weeks.
Okay. All right. Well,
she heard me. She just yelled out, Elsbeth is wonderful.
All right. What's the one with the Olsen in it? Dadgummit, I'll have to look that one up. That one's
one
good too.
One of the Olsen twins?
It's not one of the Olsen twins. It's another Olsen. And it's the one where she has the hypermind. It's a criminal. Imagine this. It's a police drama. Can you imagine that? And she has this hypermind and she's a consultant. That one was really good. I forget the name of it right now because, the new fall shows are going to be coming out pretty soon.
A friend of hers recommended, is it Tracker?
Tracker's good.
But it didn't really grab her. So
I like Tracker.
I don't think that one really stuck.
Yeah, she needs to get to season 2.
So I'm so used to streaming shows now that don't really go over at the most 10 episodes. Mm-hmm. So when I see something that's like, holy cow, there's 20-something episodes in a season, I'm out.
But I don't think that's it. I don't think network TV does that anymore.
Elsbeth is 20-something episodes.
Wow.
Or 20 episodes, something like that. I asked her last night what it was.
Okay. Well, I will say, did you enjoy, and I know you posted your stuff all on Facebook and all, Superman, no spoilers. Let me guess. He's made of steel. There's a dog in it. What'd you think?
Okay, I won't go too deep into it. If you want to hear a deep, spoiler-full discussion, I am on Geek All-Star Show, along with a few other people. I think I'm going to be the only one that gives a score of around 7 out of 10. For a scale, a 5 out of 10 to me is an average movie. If I just come out and go, okay, that's an average movie. So to me, this is a good, slightly above average movie.
Okay. So did Gunn live up to his expectations for you? I mean, when I say that, it means you weren't expecting a 10 from him, but you were not expecting trash.
This is James Gunn's Superman by James Gunn. It is 100% James Gunn. Now, it's whether you like that or not, that's really up to you. I really liked James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy, especially 1 and 3.
There were 3?
Yeah, there were 3.
Which one's 3?
I didn't care for the second one. It was the one that came out last year, 2 years ago. It kind of wrapped up the trilogy.
Wait a minute. Which is the one with Ego or whatever, the Kurt Russell?
Number 2. That's number 2, which is the one I didn't care for.
What was number 3?
The one that introduces Orion. Was it Orion? No. Oh my gosh, I'm getting the characters mixed up. Who is the Lord from Infinity Gauntlet? The magical guy. Help me out. Did you read Infinity Gauntlet?
Yes, but it's been forever. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, number 3.
Adam Warlock. I had to go look it up. Orion. No, it's Orion. Oh my gosh, I'm getting that. So that's DC. Woo, that's Dark Side Sun. Okay, so Adam Warlock. So anyway, going back to Superman, I don't feel I needed a Guardians of the Galaxy Superman. That's what we got. How's that?
I never saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
It's worth watching. I think it's a great way to wrap up that Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. I really do. It's worth watching.
Okay, I'll have to find that somewhere because I don't think I ever saw that one. Wow, man.
All right. So anyway, back to Superman. Again, it was a lot of humor that I felt was misplaced at times. Now, did you like Man of Steel? Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, the first Superman with Henry Cavill?
I don't. What, to be honest with you, they all blend together for me. If you say Christopher Reeve's Superman, I know exactly which one. Okay. If you say Christopher Reeves with Richard Pryor, I'll say that was trash.
It was trash. That was Superman number 3. Yeah, so the one with Henry Cavill, I think Henry Cavill's a great Superman. It was really dark, very dark tone, very moody. That was what his whole thing was. So this is a lot more bright, feels more comic-y, which I like. So I like the tone of this movie better. I wish it was between the two, where I could have used some little more serious stuff. Oh, there is serious stuff in this movie that's quickly glossed over with a joke. It's like you're kind of in this moment, and then a joke will happen, and it totally takes you out of it, sort of deal. That's a typical James Gunn thing. However, I will say I do think it sets up these characters really well. I think David Cornsweet is a really good Superman. I think that's a tough role to pull off, and I like him in this role. I like Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. I think both of them have great chemistry. I could have used more screen time of them together. We only get really 2 big scenes between the two. I could use more of them. When I heard Nathan Fillion was cast as Guy Gardner, I knew he would pull that role off, and he totally does. If there's one role that he could be in the DC, it's either Booster Gold or Guy Gardner, and he pulled off Guy Gardner to it. It was so funny. We was watching it. Vanessa said, "I can't take that haircut. What is with that haircut?" I said, "That is comic accurate right there."
That is.
The bowl cut blonde hair. That is 100% Guy Gardner.
He was on one of the late night shows, and they were talking about his role and just how much he embraced it and how much he really enjoyed it and how he felt that that was one of the things that he could do. That if you had asked him to be like a bigger character, bigger player in it, he didn't feel like he could pull that off.
A big surprise was that Mr. Terrific character. I don't know much about him in the comic, but I really, really liked him. He kind of stole the show. As the character I did not know, I thought he was really, really good. Hawk Girl could have been left out. She served no purpose whatsoever except screaming. She sounded like a screaming goat, and it was really weird and it got annoying after a while.
Okay.
I guess it was supposed to be a hawk call, scream as she attacked people, but it was, I'm like, where's this coming from? It was just really out of place. So anyway, it also moves at breakneck speed. This movie's 2 hours long, and it is just scene after scene after scene after scene after scene. And credits roll. It's like, whoa, that was really fast.
Okay, well, that's fine. So for those of you who wanted to get the shortened version from the Geek All-Stars, here you go. You're welcome.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I'm sure it'll be a 3-hour episode. We haven't recorded it yet as of this recording, but it will be out by the time this recording's out. So go over to Geek All Stars, and you can hear it's full of spoilers, so that won't be spoiler free. So you plan to go and see it in the theater? I think it's worth seeing in the theater.
Maybe after it dies down, maybe August, September time frame. I still, even though it's coming to streaming, I would still like to go with my daughter and go see How to Train Your Dragon. I still want to go see that one. I think that one on the big screen would be really.
You better hurry
nice.
up. It's going to be leaving soon.
I know. I realize that. So I'm probably not going to go see it.
Speaking of which, I don't know if you've seen the updated draft from our summer movie draft and what the current standings are. You get first pick again next year, probably.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Hey, How to Train Your Dragon. I know it didn't beat Lilo and Stitch, but it beat Jurassic.
No, it did not. Jurassic is still in the theater making money. Right now, as of this recording, Jurassic has made $232 million. I just updated this today. How to Train Your Dragon's $239. So Jurassic will pass How to Train Your Dragon.
That trash. Oh my gosh.
Put dinosaurs on the screen and people go watch it. I don't understand it. I saw Jurassic in the theater. It was not good. It is my least favorite movie I've seen this summer by far, but it is raking in the bucks.
Dragons are dinosaurs, sort of.
Fair. Yeah.
How can, oh my heavens. And I know the other ones. What I don't like about the draft is, it's Serpentine. Going first is not good in that draft. Yeah, you may get the big blockbuster. If I had picked Lilo and Stitch, I still would not have won because the crap that came around at the end was not helpful.
Well, we can talk to the guys next year and ask, does Serpentine still make sense?
Or does it really make sense to draft because I'm going to lose every year from now on and you three can do it?
Well, as it stands now, I think probably Chris, who picked second, is going to stand to win.
Why is that?
Just looking at the numbers on the screen right now, Superman just came out and he's in third place already.
Okay.
The only big movie that Dan has left coming out is Fantastic Four. And if anything, Superman and Fantastic Four will match each other. His last pick was Naked Gun, and it won't do that great. Well, the one that killed me was Elio.
It didn't do well,
it did
it?
Horrible. I mean, it's like, ooh, Pixar movie, animated. Families love that.
Okay.
So that's going to cost me the win. If I'd have picked anything else but that, I probably would have won.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I stood by what I felt I would go see. That's why I picked that one number one. I love Lilo and Stitch. I should have gone with it, but hey, it is what it is. No big deal. I mean, maybe I'll ever go back to a theater someday.
What's the last movie you saw in the theater?
It'd be pre-pandemic.
Get out of here. You haven't been to the theater since 2020?
I have not been to the theater since 2020. There has not been anything that came out since 2020, in my opinion, that needs to be seen in the theater.
Just since May, I've seen 8 movies, one of them twice.
Uh-huh. See, and we used to go every Tuesday, but nope, not going. And plus, I think the quality of the theaters, unless they've gone in and refurbed, I don't want to go back to them. I mean, the one I would go to, the AMC off of South Boulevard here in Charlotte, North Carolina, it had become trash. And I didn't want to go see it. I didn't want to go sit there.
Oh, that makes a huge difference, 100%. I'm very fortunate that we have this small neighborhood theater that they keep up pretty nice. It's a decent theater. It's not the best theater in the world, but it's nice enough for us.
All right. We are 15 minutes in. We got to talk a board game before people really start tuning us out.
Sure.
So what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about? Oh, you went to the mountains. How did King Arthur
Yes.
go over?
We did not play it. So
Okay,
it
good.
didn't go over at all. It's one of those things. It was just like, we only gamed one night. And I thought, that's going to be a long one to sit through. But what we did play was D&D Horrified. Now, this is the new game from Ravensburger. So you've played the Horrified series before, right? The co-op game? Okay. So this is the new theme game based in the Dungeons and Dragon world. And if you've played any of the Horrifieds, this is going to play the exact same way. You have a character, you have a certain number of actions. Those actions could be moving. It could be taking a companion and moving with it as you try to do some escort stuff. You can trade items with each other. Every character has a special ability. You can try to advance the monster towards defeat. That's what makes each game unique. Each monster has a unique goal to defeat it. Some sort of steps you have to do before you can even try to take the defeat action. All those basic actions work the exact same way. What's different in Dungeons & Dragons? Obviously the theme. So if you're looking at the map, the game takes place in Forbidden Realms. So if you know that area, there's like Waterdeep is in there, etc. So the map is really cool looking. The art is really nice. Some of the monsters you play against are like a mimic, red dragon, Eye of the Beholder. So the question people may be wondering, so what makes this different besides the theme? As always, each of you have a character that you can play. These are based off the classic D&D characters such as Bard, Fighter, Wizard, Rogue, Cleric, etc. In the past, you have a special action that makes each player unique, each character unique. That's what's really cool about it. Here you have the same thing, but what you do on your turn is when you want to take that special action, you roll a d20.
Ooh.
And then based on how you roll, it tells you what you get to do. If it's a 1, critical failure, nothing happens. If it's a 20, you get to do your really cool skill. Otherwise, it's going to be some sort of skill in between. So what's neat is the fighter is good at absorbing damage from a monster, maybe making the monster skip the fighter phase. The rogue is good at getting items and trading them between people. Typically, you have to trade when you're in the same location. You know, it kind of has that pandemic feel. It has some of that same sort of trope. The bard is good at moving around the citizens of the companions on the board. I played the cleric. The cleric was, if a character dies, do not move up the terror level track, which is one of the way you lose, like in the other games, because anytime a character dies, you move up on the terror track, and if it gets to the end, you lose. So that was the unique part of the game, rolling the d20 and getting to do something special.
You were rolling some dice, man.
We were rolling some dice. They gave us one d20 that we were passing around the table. So, you might want to bring your own d20. So if you like the D&D theme and you like Horrified, you really want to play this. I really love the idea of rolling the die and seeing what's going to get to happen. That adds that element of luck to it and adds a little bit of interesting elements to it. The red dragon has this cool puzzle aspect that you can play to defeat it. There are only 4 monsters in this, so maybe you feel like, I've already beat that monster a couple of times, but maybe you don't have. Maybe you can play different characters each time you play for some of that replayability aspect. So again, if you're familiar with the game, you'll be very familiar. If you've never played before, it's a game that's very easy to learn.
Okay. Well, I like the sound of the dice. I like how they added that to the game. I mean, it's been a while since I've played any of those, so. That's pretty darn cool. I like that. Okay. Well, good. And you won?
We did win. We did win our first game. Now, it suggested, hey, for your first game, play these easier monsters. So we did. It also was nice. We had a full complement of characters. So I feel like if you only play with like 2 players, you may be missing you know how if you play Pandemic and not every role is fulfilled, you miss that role being at the table? Right. Same thing here.
Okay. Very good then. All right. Well, did you get anything else on the table while you were in the mountains? Because you didn't get rained out. I know that.
I got something on the table that you also got on the table because you went to a local event run by our friend Mark, MooseCon, which is like a Saturday afternoon getting together playing some games. We both got to play Middle Ages.
Yes, we did. How did you do? Did you use your windmill strategy?
Oh my gosh. All right. So everybody sitting at the table was obviously brand new players. I was the only one that ever played. I came in 3rd. Because my nephew quickly called on, hey, you know what? I'm going to go all military and I'm going to go all windmills. And so basically he spent the entire time stealing from everybody I didn't catch it in time. You know, when you teach a new game, you feel like you don't want to steamroll people.
Or you want to make sure everybody's doing it right and you're helping them. And yeah.
Right. Before I realized it, I was like, holy crap, he is up on me by like 2 windmills and I can't catch up. So it's constantly, okay, everybody give me 2, everybody give me 2, everybody give me 2. And I even was trying to purposely block him and stuff. He still ended up winning. I did have enough of the ramparts to block the attacks, but not everybody sitting at the table had those. So he was just constantly stealing from people. He went the full take that route each round.
And that bothers me. I'm beginning to wonder if that is a problem with that game. Because when I played, same thing. I mean, we all balanced it out pretty good, and pretty soon the windmills were balanced with everybody versus the ramparts. The barracks, we were distributing well. If you did not stop it, then yeah, you could be steamrolled on that. And so I still enjoy the game, but I have some concerns with that.
It's funny. Maybe because I'm so used to playing with y'all and we keep each other in check that it's like, oh, when you don't keep somebody in check, there are 2 buildings that can be used to steal things. I wonder if that's one too many.
It might be.
I wonder if there should just be one building that allows you to steal things. And again, people listening, well, Marty, you should have drafted against it. You should have drafted those to keep him from getting it, which is true. So that was part of my problem. However, the other 2 players sitting at the table didn't realize that.
Right.
So I can't be the only person that keeps them in check. I need the others to help too. That's what our game group would have done. Oh, look, Mark is going to run with this strategy. The 3 of us make sure he doesn't succeed on that. Right. Me, I'm like, he's running with this strategy. Can y'all help me out? But they're learning how to play the game, so they don't catch that.
Exactly. So, yeah, you got to play that one a couple times to make sure that someone is not doing that. Still, once again, love the game. Enjoyed that we got to play it again. So I was very happy with that. Yeah, we were sitting there thinking, oh, man, how do you stop that? Because Bert was doing it. And I couldn't block him, right? I couldn't, but everybody finally caught up and everybody caught on very quickly because everybody's sitting there plays these types of games. So they know darn well what you need to be doing. The other one I got to play when we were at Mark's little event was Agricola. Haven't played that in probably 10 years. One of the first games we played, I don't know if the game is that old. I think Agricola came out way early. I don't know, not worth looking it up. But anyway, I'm still not a fan. And they just had that big Kickstarter, right?
Right.
Nothing against the game. The game's amazing. The tightness of the game and having to be able to make sure that every turn you're doing. But if you're one of those people who are, i.e. me, unlucky enough to not pick up on the nuances, then you are not going to do well. I knew I had to get another worker on there. I knew I needed to send my people to the Boom Boom Hut. I knew I needed to feed them. But one of the things I forgot is the negative points at the end of the game. But luckily I had positive points, so I was happy with that. But the cohesiveness of the various cards that you had, and when you draft cards at the beginning, that was definitely shown in people who have played the game many times. And I use my strategy of, I haven't played this in a while, but so here is a worker placement game. A couple of things you want to do is you try to look for ways to break how you would normally get something. In this case, it was food. So how do I break that of getting the food so that I don't have to worry about it as much? And also, if I am doing upgrades, I'm going to want to make sure that I don't need as many materials. So I've drafted my cards accordingly. I did not know that card wasn't a good one until late game because it was talked about stone. And I was like, okay. And I didn't know the process of it's wood to clay to stone. And I put the worker out too early and I wasted an action doing that. Still, it's a great game. People who play it love the game, and I understand. It is so tight, so challenging, but you have to do everything. And if you're not one of those people that can get out those additional workers and have that little engine going, you are going to have a terrible time with Agricola. When was the last time you played?
I think I've played once, then I moved to Caverna, which I like Caverna better.
Okay.
I think it does away with the whole drafting thing. Everything's available to everybody.
Okay. Because somebody had the card that says when somebody goes to another spot, you may go there as well. what the heck?
Yeah. So that's why I think I like Caverna a little bit better. How long did it take you to play the game?
Probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, because there was a slight teach at the
Wow.
beginning to remind me. And there were 5 people playing.
That's really not bad. I thought that game was longer than that for some reason. Huh.
No, I mean, we played a bunch of other little filler games at the beginning. I mean, we played Sky Joe. We even played Catchphrase. That was hilarious. 5 players, quick teach. Let's go. Let's play. Everybody knew. I mean, there's not many options. You're going to go take wood. You're going to go to expand people. You're going to want to put out an occupation. You're going to want to do an advancement. You need the food. You need the stone. You need the clay. Oh, look, let that build up. Then you want to be the first person to go grab those resources in the next round. Oh, don't forget, we have a harvest round coming up. So make sure you have that food ready to go.
You like it better than Feast of Odin, I assume.
Feast of Odin. Feast of Odin was the one with the various pieces.
Tetris pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, that game, no. No. But it's still, well, see, my favorite is, and the same thing could be said for it, Pillars of the Earth. It's the same type of thought process where I know which ones, or I've played it enough, haven't played it in a long time, but I know how to do the quick converts to get the big points near the end.
Call it Feast of Odin. It's Feast for Odin. But yeah, I can see what you're saying. We didn't really play any filler games. I mean, literally it was D&D, Middle Ages. Oh, So Clover.
You love that
People
game,
love
don't you?
So Clover. And I was getting to the point where my So Clover boards are just stained black because we've written on it so much. But my family love So Clover.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad they like that. We played with some friends also another day. She's a teacher, and she enjoys these games that are more interactive. So she bought Herd Mentality, which is very similar to the Blob game that you had that I haven't played, where you try to bring everybody together into one big blob.
Yeah.
And I forget what that one was called, which I've never played. One day I may pick it up, find it somewhere. But Herd Mentality is your question is asked, and everybody quickly writes down the answer. And based on the answer to wherever the majority is, people get points. All right?
Okay.
Straightforward. Like, what's your favorite holiday? Christmas, Halloween, or your birthday? Okay? Not that your birthday's a holiday, but still, So everybody wrote down what they thought was their favorite. But part of the strategy of that game is realizing who's in the room and how they're going to possibly answer so that you can join their side or switch them to the herd. All right.
That does have the blob type effect to it because over the course of the game, people start working together and try to,
Exactly. And the last one we got to do was Monstrosity. She bought that for her grandchildren. And I don't know if you've ever played this one. It's
I know of it, not played it.
okay. So it was kind of cute that the person looks at a card for 20 seconds, turns it over, and they have 2 minutes to describe, like a witness to a crime murder, the monster they just saw. And everybody has sketch pads, and they're having to sketch what they're hearing, right? And whoever can figure out what they hear, then you can vote on who they think was the closest to the monster that was being described by the witness when that card gets flipped over. Very basic. The fun part of that is trying to listen to people describe the monster. Like I'm saying, all right, the monster that was at the crime scene, he was riding an animal like a rhinoceros. Thank you.
Rhinoceros.
Rhinoceros. That has 2 horns, and the creature riding him looks like the Reaper. All right, he's in a saddle. The rhinoceros has 6 legs. You can only see they're all underneath him, and there's a saddle. And the Grim Reaper figure has a bunch of teeth in its mouth. That's really all y'all need. First question they asked me in the 2 minutes was, "What's a Grim Reaper?" I'm like, "Oh crap."
Okay.
There we go.
Cool.
That's it. I'm done. Thank you.
You want to go do some other reviews or something?
Do we really? I mean, we've been talking for 30 minutes. We can end it right now. Let's go to the outro.
And shortchange people on this quality entertainment? I think not, sir.
We should take a vote one day. All right. Let's go talk some really board games that we played together that came out so poorly. Let's go talk games.
Yeah, that was bad.
ShopPortalGames.com. We've been saying it for close to 330 episodes. Okay, maybe not that specific address, because there was a time when there was not ShopPortalGames.com.
It was portalgames.pl/en. Yes, I remember that.
You remember that? It confused us, but Ignacy got it right. It's now ShopPortalGames.com. All right, you didn't make it to Gen Con, but you really like what you see with Age of Galaxy. Head over there, put your pre-order in now, and get an additional 5 faction cards for free.
Okay, I'm going to admit, yes, they're a sponsor of our show, but I'm excited about this game, Tony.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I love card-driven games. I think he has a good eye for card-driven games, so I'm looking forward to trying it out.
We played Race to Berlin. We know that's later in the year. Okay, there was a pledge for that. I'm excited also for Bohemians. Just the artwork grabs me.
Bohemians, I think that's his really, really big title. He's really pushing that. So I look forward to that coming out around Essen time.
And to your point, it's a card-driven game. And Ignacy knows how to do that. Think about it. You know, you've got, oh, good gosh.
Imperial
Empires
Settlers.
of the North. Imperial Settlers.
Empires of the North, yeah.
I mean, they're all right there for you. So head over to shopportalgames.com, sign up for the newsletter. Be sure to subscribe to his channel on YouTube so you can see his various vlogs that he puts out, so you don't miss all of his announcements and the latest news from Ignacy.
Five-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
So another game we got to play recently is one called Celestia. It's a revamp from Cloud9, which is a push your luck kind of game where I find it very interesting. When I say push your luck, one person is in control of the ship. The rest of the people are just along for the ride, and they're trying to say, does he or she have the ability to sail this ship without crashing it? Mm-hmm. So it's got a little of that reeds, that little poker going on there, you know, because maybe I want y'all to go down with the ship. Maybe you don't. So on the captain's turn, he's going to roll some dice, and he's going to determine if the cards he has in hand can beat those dice. If he does, we advance.
You mean by beat, just match the symbols?
Match the symbols, right.
Yeah.
If you can, we all advance. And as you advance, you are collecting other cards that are giving you victory points that allow you that whoever gets to, I think it was 50 points, Marty?
50 points. Mm-hmm.
Then whoever gets there first, winner, chicken dinner. When I think of this game, that's what I remember most about this game is these poker portion of it of, do I think Marty can beat this? What did he play last? There was more to this than I really thought when you first put it on the table.
So when the dice are rolled, starting to the person to the left of the captain, they get to say, okay, do I jump now? Or do I think that he possibly can play the cards to match this dice? Each person makes this decision. Wherever they jump, they're going to get points for that area. It's just basically a line of
clouds.
Yeah, that you're moving across that are more points the further you go. So you want to ride as long as you can to get those higher point scoring cards. However, if 3 dice have been rolled, and by the way, the further you go, the more dice you have to roll. If 3 dice have been rolled and there's 3 symbols, and I'm staring at Bert's hand and he only has 2 cards, and I'm jumping out, there's no way. And the bad thing for the captain is he can't jump out if somebody's still in the ship.
Right. So if you got a runaway captain there, you may just hold on. You're not going to score, but you're going to keep him from doing it.
And now the captain could also outsmart you, and maybe they could bluff, and everybody jump ship, and he's, but I do have what I need to advance this. So he gets to advance to the next one for free. And basically he could jump out when he's by himself and I'll just take these high points that nobody else just got with that race to 50. But Tony, there's also cards in play that could monkey with you a bit because it could get back to me who's the captain. It's I've got these cards and somebody goes, wait, I'm going to play this card that's going to make you re-roll your dice. Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks. Great. So what I thought I could be able to do, I might not be able to do after the roll. So it's a push your luck bluffing game. Everybody I know that's played it just really likes it, especially excels when it hits that 4, 5, 6 player range.
Right. And one of the things about that, there's the jetpack. I remember that one. Oh, you went down. Oh, jetpack. I'm safe.
I'm out, and I'll get these points at this location.
Exactly. So I enjoyed playing it. I like to push your luck, and it plays very fast.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing for me. Got to get these things off the table as soon as they're on the table. People were accusing me of that. But, all in all, I was very pleasantly surprised by this game.
It's very easy to learn. I think the only thing is there was some tricky timings with some stuff. Like some cards you couldn't play until somebody had announced where they're going to jump or stay, or whether the captain's going to stay or go. And it's like there's a pause. Does anybody want to play this card? No. Continue. Okay. Now, does anybody have this card they possibly want to play? No. Okay. The ship's going down. Wait a minute. Does anybody have the jetpack they want to play?
Yeah.
There's this little timing things you have to kind of get. Once everybody knows, they know the window when they can play that card. So you haven't got to do that after a while.
And we talked about the cards. Your hand doesn't get refreshed as it moves. Everybody gets at the end of the round, or after it goes around, everybody gets a card. Also, some of your victory points at the beginning have special capabilities that Marty mentioned. It's not in the cards themselves. It's the treasures you take. So you have to pay attention to that.
And that's only early on. So you might want to jump ship early to try to get some of those treasure tokens that can help you out later on to try to advance further down the track. It's just that those without those special tokens are worth a lot more points.
Mm-hmm. And probably the most challenging part of this game when I was watching was the putting the little ship together.
3 engineers sitting around a table going, okay, wait a minute. I mean, it's a cute little airship. It's a little 3D airship that you build, and it goes back into the box. You haven't got to disassemble it. But it's like, wait a minute, what? That's that piece go there? This where does this go? And then it's like, Bert's like, no, it doesn't go there. It flips like this. It's like, how many engineers does it take to put together a cardboard airship?
Well, we didn't expect them to give us extra pieces either.
Right. That's true. There were extra pieces that we weren't expecting. So yeah, great little fun family push your luck.
That is Celestia from, I didn't even mention the publisher. Did I even mention the designer? No, I did not.
You did not.
Aaron Weisblum from, let's see, there's 20 people. I'm just going to go with
Blam.
You guys going to go with Blam? Well, I like that. Blam.
5-minute initiative is complete.
I want to talk about this game that I got to play. Tony, unfortunately, you didn't get to play. I wanted to get it to you. I would love for you to try this out sometime because I think you would like it. This is a card placement game called Ofrenda from Andre and Santos Orlando Sa from Osprey Games. The theme of this game, it's the Mexican Festival of the Dead, and it's time to remember those loved ones who passed away. So what you're going to be doing is building an ofrenda, which is a colorful altar with offerings to the dead, including marigolds, trying to light some candles and stuff. And what you're trying to do is manage the request of late relatives by drafting and arranging their portraits on your player board.
Okay.
These cards are two-sided. There's an unlit side and a lit side. When you play a card into your player board, it goes down on the unlit side. Now, each of these cards in the upper left-hand corner have two things to them. They have a color and they have a symbol. Each card also has a requirement of who they want to be near. They want their portrait to be near or not near certain types of cards. So as you play these cards into your board, you try to satisfy the requirements of those cards that have been put in play. And if you do, you get to flip it to the lit side, which will score you points at the end of the game. This is played over 12 rounds where you'll have a hand of cards. You go out to a market. You can draft a card. First one's free. Everyone after that, you have to drop a marigold resource in each card to get that card. There's also another type of thing called a candle token, which is at the top of a card. You can take that candle token at that point, which can be used to score additional points. Go 12 rounds, count up your score at the end of the game. The person with the most points wins. Now, Tony, the one thing about this is, let me just start off with the production. It's a dual layer board, which is really, really nice. For a game like this that only plays, 30 to 45 minutes, I'm surprised at the production value of this. The little marigold tokens are nice and wooden. The art is really colorful, and the portraits that you probably see in the rules, etc.
Right. But it's an Osprey.
Yeah, they tend to do really good with their production.
Yeah, they do. I mean, that's one thing that's about Osprey. They lead with a very strong production. I think of all the games, like Undaunted. None of that was, cheap stuff. So, okay. Well, this sounds interesting. It reminds me of the game where I think it was Trophy Hunter or something like that, where you're out killing the heroes as the monsters and you're trying to line them up in the grid, which was a fun little game.
I think it's easier to understand than what that one was. So your player board is basically 3 rows. There's 3 cards on top, 4 in the middle, 5 on the bottom. And the middle row is offset by the top and bottom such that there's a card diagonally to up left, diagonally up right, and diagonally down left, diagonally down right. So a card in the middle may have essentially 6 adjacent cards around it, 1 to the left, 2 above, 2 below. And so some of those requirements could be like, say, for example, I put 1 in the middle of the board that's like, you can flip me to the lit side as long as I'm adjacent at least to 2 other green cards. So as I'm playing the game, I'm trying to make sure there's at least 2 cards around this other card. Once a portrait card is completely surrounded, there's no other spaces around it, you evaluate it. Did you meet its objective? Yes. Flip it over to its lit side. Also, between the first and second row and the second and third, there are these little slots for holding marigolds and candles. And those can be surrounded also because those little candles that you can draft have in-game scoring conditions too, or IN, meaning you evaluate the entire board. So while cards are important to check adjacency to see if objectives are complete, candles are just board wide. Okay. A candle may say, I want to see 4 of this particular object, this shape of object. At any time during your turn, if you've met that requirement, you flip that candle over to the lit side. So Tony, what we found was this is a very puzzly game. It's very solitaire-ish. We didn't do any hate drafting because you're so focused. You do start with a hand of cards, so it's not like you draft a card and place it. So you can kind of plan out your strategy based on what's in your hand and what to draft, but it's setting up everything correctly. And what I found is not screwing yourself early in the game and putting a card with an objective that there's no way you're going to be able to meet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the way it is with all these games. I guess what I was thinking was for this game, was it such that there was a lot of AP in the one I just talked about, where, you sat there and you're like, oh man, if I do this, am I going to do this? And then, you have to think through it all. Did you run into that at all?
The AP wasn't too bad. You kind of had a plan. There was a card that was refreshed each turn because obviously a card was going to be taken each turn. There's that one for free and that dynamic of dropping marigolds along the way. It's also another good way to get marigolds is to take one of those further down the path when there's a bunch. But after you draft, they all shift down 1 and a new one comes out. So there wasn't a lot of AP. And the nice thing is during other people's turns, you can kind of see what's in your hand and plan accordingly. So when it got to your turn, you could do it. The big kicker was some of these cards were, I don't want to be near any card that's green.
Ooh.
So you want to make sure that no cards around it are green, because if there is, it stays on the unlit side. And see, at the end of the game, you have a score pad that you can write down the values of every card slot, marigold slot, and candle slot, and what values it or what it's worth. Every unlit candle and unlit portrait is worth 0. Just mark it right off. So the only things you're going to evaluate are lit portraits and lit portraits that are around lit candles and marigolds. And there's a process of scoring each one of those. Person with the most points wins. So I will say scoring at the end took a little while. This is one of those, I wish there was an app almost where I could click on the ones that are lit, click on the ones that are unlit, generate score.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. So on that board, I know there are 5 in the bottom, 4 and 3. So the bottom row, which was more complicated to accomplish?
The most complicated was that middle row, the 2 cards in the middle row, because they're surrounded by 6. Do not put a card in there that's like, I don't want to be near this thing, because it's harder to keep that from happening. You want to put those off in the corners that's only adjacent to 2 other cards. It's easier to pull off that objective. There are also some cards, when you place them, you'll get a marigold. Some cards will require you to pay a marigold. And what happens if you don't have any marigolds? One thing you can do is forfeit playing a card onto your board by discarding a card and taking 3 marigolds from the supply.
Was that a good thing to do? Because sometimes you're like, that's the last ditch thing.
Bert did it, and I can't remember he or Mark won. I did not win. So, I filled up my board and didn't win.
I understand. Okay. So it's not too detrimental of a strategy, like a negative 25 points. Gotcha.
Right. Unfulfilled areas don't hurt you in any way. Unlit things don't hurt you, except you just don't get points for those.
Gotcha.
So it is a solitaire game. It is an extremely puzzly game, but it's one of those that's very easy to teach. The symbols on the cards and the symbols are very easy to understand. So if you're looking for a good family solitaire puzzle game, Ofrenda is solid. I actually want to hand this off to you and Donna. I think both of y'all can handle it. I'd be curious to see if whether you and your play group can handle it that you play with some of your neighbors or friends. Or whatever.
If there's a lot of scoring, I can't handle it. I'm going to be sitting there. Oh, come on, people.
It's not as bad as Loot, but it does take time to, and especially with those who don't play a lot of games, you'll want to go through that card scores this, that scores this, that marigold scores that lit candle scores this, that sort of deal. And it's basically, every lit candle, it's like every lit character around it's worth, 2. Every lit around a marigold's worth 1, that sort of deal. So that's the scoring mechanics for each of the stuff on the board.
Gotcha. I understand. All right. Well, it sounds interesting.
Yeah. Very colorful. I think it's a good family game, and it's not a lot to take that. So it's not like you're hate drafting or anything like that, which I appreciate too. So that is Ofrenda. That is out right now. I think it just came out in June from Osprey Games. Look, you want to keep an eye out for what's going on over at Miniature Market. Tony, I happen to notice today that they're doing 5 times spending power on rewards points. What you can do is, for a limited time, you can trade in your points for even more. Spend $75 or more on their site and get 5 times the spending power with your points, because points are worth money.
Points matter.
Points to help. Points matter. You can use up to $20 worth of points per order, but you can't wait too long, because this deal is not going to last forever. But it is going on right now. They have free shipping for anything $75 and over. And if you hadn't gone over $75, you can still get that flat rate shipping of $5.99. But what's cool is they also tease, we have some big things coming at Miniature Market. Well, how will you know about it? You won't unless you sign up for their newsletter or go daily to their site over at miniaturemarket.com.
Five-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
In this solo 5-minute initiative, I want to tell you about a brand new game from Devere Games called Ace of Spades, designed by Benja Amorin. In this game, you take on the role of a gambler who channels magic through their deck of cards. You will face off against a series of villains who torment the town of Sweet Haven, Arizona. To set up the game, you're going to pre-construct a deck of villains, and each of these villains has a health value on it that you need to deal damage to in order to kill it and work your way through the deck of villains. The way that is done is by taking a standard 52 card deck, which comes with the game, shuffle it up, draw 8, and then play a hand of 5. The better poker hand that you play, the more damage that you'll do with that hand. For example, if you were to play 2 pair, you'll do 2 damage. If you play a flush, you'll deal 5 damage. You play straight flush, you'll deal 10 damage. In addition, the face cards that you play also do additional damage. For every face card in your poker hand, you deal 1 additional damage. For every ace, you deal +3. So you're trying to get the best hands possible to deal the most damage to work through the deck. Now, each villain also will dictate how many hands you have to play in order to beat it, and will also dictate the number of discards and redraws that you have. For example, that first villain that you face, it gives you 2 hands in order to beat it. Through 2 hands, if you deal enough damage to take its health down to 0, boom, you beat it and move on to the next one. If you have a hand that you don't feel like you can do anything with, you can use one of the discards or redraws. You could discard your entire hand and redraw, or discard a certain number of cards and draw from there. Now, as you progress through this deck of villains, they're going to get more and more difficult to beat. So to counter that, each one of the villains that you beat will have some sort of ability. Some of the abilities are just one-time effects. that you'll, after you beat it, you put off to the side. For example, the spades in this hand you play also count as clubs. That way you can take spades and try to make a flush with the clubs if you need to. Another example is just increase your hand dial by 1, which is always good. Inflict 5 direct damage points to the current enemy. So these can just be played anytime you play that poker hand. But also there are some villains that have ongoing abilities. So once you beat them, they stay in play. For example, aces in your hand add plus 5 damage instead of the rate of 3. Kings in your hand add plus 3 instead of 1. Here's one that says each diamond included in your hands deals plus 2 damage. So it almost has like a feel of Balatro, where you start out playing and then you get stronger over time. In Balatro, you play those jokers in order to modify how you play your deck. This is going to be the same way here. Now, you'll lose if you've exhausted all your hands, but the current enemy still has health. You'll win if you get through the entire deck and face Lord Overkill, but he takes like 50 points to take him out, so he's pretty tough. I gotta say, this is a really fun, clever game. And I also like that if you knew how to play poker, you've got 85 to 90% of the rules already done. It's literally just how do you set up your villain deck and what each hand is worth. And then from there, you just play poker. The game has multiple degrees of difficulty. The regular difficulty, you can look through the discard pile. The next level of difficulty is you can't look through the discard pile. And also, you may be wondering, well, wait a minute. And when I eventually run out of cards, well, they took care of that. For every villain that you face, a villain is going to be the one that gives you like a permanent ability. You're going to take your current hand, all the discards, shuffle them in with the deck, and start anew. So that's how you can always kind of keep your deck refreshed. The game does that for you. I will say I had a lot of fun with this. I love the fact that there's really no learning curve. It's like I understand how to make flushes and straights, etc. It's just trying to combine those with the abilities that I gain over the game and in order to maximize that damage when I can. Also, in typical DeVere fashion, the game is gorgeous. The art is amazing. It comes in this really nice box with a magnetic closure on it. The poker cards in it are really nice and vivid. The enemy decks are really colorful and have some really cool art on them. So it's just a pleasure to play because it looks good on the table. Oh, and if you think, hey, this would be cool if I could play with a friend, well, actually you can. This does support 2 players in that each of you will, instead of a hand of 8, you'll have a hand of 5, and there'll be 3 cards you put on the table that on your turns, you can pull cards from those 3 cards and just replenish those when you're done. So that's how you would work co-op, and then you have to kind of work together to decide, well, hey, can you leave me that queen because I want to use that queen on my next turn because I can put it with this hand and deal a lot of damage. So there's a cooperative mode and there is that solo mode. Ace of Spades, great theme, easy to play, great production, out from DeVere Games right now.
5-minute initiative is complete.
All right. Did you miss the Game Toppers Kickstarter where the man lowered all prices? No, he didn't lower all prices. He just made it so that shipping was cheaper. There was great discounts. Huge amount of add-ons were unlocked during this convention, or not convention, during this pledge. Well, by George, if you did, then you need to go in to his late pledge manager. I was on vacation for most of it, and they had the leg kits. And I was sitting here thinking, man, I need to go talk to Donna about the leg kits, see if that's something I can get, and set up my game topper upstairs to where I can set up a solo play because nobody wants to play games with me anymore. They I understand. So I need to get my Gloomhaven out. I need to play those solo games that I have, sitting on the shame shelf. And the best way to do that is go to his late pledge manager and commit some money to that. Shoot, we've talked about the mats. He's got some great Ryan Lochte mats art out there that if you enjoy his art, it'd be nice to just have it sitting there on the table for everything. So head over to Game Toppers and find out how you can get into the late pledge manager.
Hey there, I'm Hugh from Moderation. If you like today's show, why not check out Roll Gay Roleplay, where a merry group of queers face their fears in a fantasy world where social norms aren't the only thing thrown out the window. Join a weird, wonderful and wacky cast as they go about slaying the most insidious of creatures in the daintiest ways possible. Find Roll Gay Roleplay wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, from the beginning, Marty, I forgot to mention, I finally got Donna to play Azul Duo with me. Okay. I've been trying to get that all day.
Yeah.
She loved it. Absolutely loved it. We love Azul. Love Azul in the house. There was a little poor teach moment, but we got it straight. For those of you who've never played Azul, you've got some tiles, you're going to move them across. Go look it up, people. This is the outro. I'm not going to explain rules to you. But anyway, Azul Duo or Duel is 2 players only. And the unique mechanism about this for me was, do I take the tiles from the sun portion of a tile and put those on my board and then stack the remaining tiles such that maybe later when she goes to the sun, maybe I can get more of the same color that way. That to me was a very unique, not in the sense of, maybe not from a board game, but how they used it for Azul. Really liked that. And I liked how the game moved along at a good clip. I was a little concerned that, we would agonize over which tiles to pick or things like that. And we didn't. We really enjoy playing Azul. I am so happy we got to play Duel because, how often do you have 4 people to play Azul, right? Not often.
I think you have it a lot, it seems like. You're always playing with other people.
Yeah, but it's a hit or miss game with people for some odd reason. I don't know why. I even got the special boards for Azul so the tiles don't slide. And people are like, no, we don't want to play Azul. I'm like, why not? It's such a great game. What else you got? Oh, I don't know. Oh, well, let's just play regular cards. Oh, facepalm. So I'm just like, oh, man, this sucks. Any Switch updates for me before we get out of here?
Got Donkey Kong Bonanza coming out this week, so I can't wait to dive into it.
Have you finished any games?
No, I'm still playing. I told you last week about Rune Factory. That's kind of just an ongoing game. So, crank it up, go farm a little bit, go beat up some stuff. But I'll jump over to Donkey Kong Bonanza once it comes out.
And what's the theme behind that one? I don't even know. See, I don't even pay attention to this.
So it's just a brand new Donkey Kong 3D platformer, maybe, except the twist in this, everything's destructible. So no matter where he goes, he can pound it to the ground. He can beat up or tear apart mountains, stones, whatever. Inside the stones, maybe paths or treasures or stuff. And you're trying to work from world to world, basically. And Pauline is in this game. Pauline is the name of the lady in the original Donkey Kong arcade game that Mario was trying to save.
Okay. All right. I did not know that. That's a good trivia question.
Pauline shows up in the last Mario Odyssey.
I never played
She's
that
in that
one.
too.
Okay. I did not know that. Well, that is kind of neat, kind of fun. Yeah, me, I'm still doing the Guild Wars thing, the new expansion for Guild Wars.
That'll be, as of this recording, announced tomorrow.
I know. I'm looking forward to the Elites, see what it does, but I am going to say that I'm kind of getting burned out on it, so I need to go shift my focus to something else. So I'm looking forward to that.
I recommend Expedition 33.
I know you do. Maybe I'll just go ahead and get that one. You didn't get to play Star Wars since our last recording, so have you put together a solid deck?
I have not, sir. In fact, I do have our shipment from Miniature Market. I have a booster box for you and 2 starters, which is why I asked you before we started recording, hey, when you available for lunch? I can get the stuff to you.
Well, if you had led with that, I may be able to clear a schedule quicker. Man, lead with the powerful stuff. Don't hang me out there. Like,
make sure to bring a deck to Gen Con. We'll play at Gen Con.
Are we going to play Twin Suns or whatever it's called?
I can get some people probably if you want to.
That was so much fun. I enjoyed that.
Okay, Twin Suns it is. I would have that large map, but as I talked about in the last episode, I won my last match, which kept me from winning the large 4-player map.
You don't even know when to throw a match. That's unreal. Can't even believe that. All right. Well, with that, we're going to give the people some time. As I say in meetings all the time at Duke, when I schedule them and I end them early, I'm going to say, I'm going to give y'all some time back. You're welcome. If you want to, subscribe to buy me a moon pie because of that, or just, put a little tip jar, that's kindly appreciated. Other than that, just keep rolling dice
and taking names. Hey y'all, thanks for listening. Our next episode is our big Gen Con episode. This is going to be recorded on site at Gen Con each night, where Tony talk about our ongoings during that day, games we've seen, news we've gotten. So make sure to check out next episode for our special Gen Con 2025 coverage.
Trivia question for you, Marty. You know I do trivia in the neighborhood. You ready?
I don't know. Yeah.
Dia de los Muertos usually occurs in what month?
See, why didn't you do the Ofrenda? I didn't know you could speak the whole Spanish thing like that. Okay. It occurs in...
That's right, November. Good guess.
I was going to say the fall. I was definitely going fall.
There you go.
But I would have guessed October.
Hey there, I'm Hugh from Moderation. If you liked today's episode, why not check out Dice Will Roll, the queerest Pathfinder show on the planet? Join a crew of 4 friends asking you the important questions about RPGs, like, is it cannibalism to eat a polymorph chicken? From getting 4 nat 1s to the roll to standing up to the darkest forces in the multiverse, Dice Will Roll is available wherever you get your podcasts.